Okay, take a deep breath because today's question is a serious trip into the darkest corner of the survival handbook. We've all heard the tragic stories of stranded sailors or mountaineers resorting to the unthinkable to survive. But it begs a grim, scientific question. What if you tried to make that a permanent diet? Could a human, in theory, survive long-term eating only other humans?
First, let's set the rules. This isn't a one-time emergency. This is a thought experiment about a closed system, a human trying to get 100% of their nutrition from human flesh and organs indefinitely. No pizza breaks, no vitamin supplements grown in a lab, just people.
On paper, human meat is meat. It's protein, fat, and some minerals. Your body could break it down. For a short-term crisis, it might give you the calories to hang on for rescue. But the moment you try to make this a lifestyle, you run into a massive, disgusting problem.
Our bodies are complex machines that need over 30 different vitamins and minerals. Human muscle meat, like what you'd primarily get, is terrible at providing some of these. The most famous example? Vitamin C. We humans, like guinea pigs, lost the ability to make our own vitamin C. We have to eat it. And fresh meat from most animals contains traces of it. But human flesh? It's extremely low. In a long-term, all-human diet, you'd develop scurvy within a few months. Your gums would rot, old wounds would reopen, and you'd become weak and anemic. So even as you're consuming food, you'd be slowly falling apart from malnutrition.
But let's say you try to be a smart cannibal. You think, I'll eat the nutritious parts, the organs. And you'd be right. Liver is packed with vitamins. But here you hit the second terrifying wall. Prion diseases. Prions are misfolded proteins that turn your brain into a sponge. The most famous human-to-human prion disease is Kuru, which spread among the Fore people of Papua New Guinea through funerary cannibalism. It's 100% fatal, with a dormancy period that can last decades. So by consuming nervous system tissue, especially the brain, you're playing a potentially lethal lottery. One wrong bite could be a death sentence that takes years to show up. It makes your food supply inherently toxic. Now let's zoom out to the ultimate society-level what-if. Could a group of people survive on this diet? The math gets horrifyingly bleak. An average adult contains about 125,000 calories. An average person needs about 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. Do the division, and one body would feed one person for about 50 to 60 days. But that's just calories, not nutrition. To maintain a stable population of, say, 1,000 cannibals, you'd need a much larger population of, let's call them, food sources. And since humans reproduce slowly, 9-month pregnancies, years to mature, you could never breed people fast enough to eat them. The herd would collapse immediately. You'd have to be constantly expanding, conquering, and consuming other groups, a pyramid scheme of the absolute worst kind. That inevitably ends with the last person on Earth with no one left to eat. Game over. So here's the climax, the big, grim reveal of this thought experiment. Could you survive? Technically, maybe, for a little while, but you'd be malnourished and risking a horrific brain disease. Could a civilization survive? Absolutely not. It's a biological and mathematical dead end. Human beings are not a sustainable resource for other human beings. We are not nutritionally complete. We are dangerously pathogenic to each other in this context, and our reproductive rate is too slow. We are the worst possible choice for a farm animal. The real takeaway here isn't about the macabre mechanics of cannibalism. It's a stark lesson in ecology and interdependence. Every sustainable food chain in nature is based on diversity. We rely on plants that make vitamins from sunlight, animals that graze on those plants, and bacteria that cycle nutrients. We are designed to be omnivores at the end of a vast, complex web. Trying to loop that web back onto itself in a tiny, morbid circle, it just snaps. So, while the desperate act might save a life in the short term, as a long-term survival strategy, eating only humans is a one-way ticket to a dead end, both for the body and for the species. It's the ultimate biological paradox. The one thing we might turn to in absolute extremis is the very thing that guarantees we cannot persist. If your brain is now buzzing with other terrible, wonderful what-ifs, you know what to do. Hit that like button, throw your most disturbing survival scenarios in the comments below, and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of the strange. Thanks for watching, and remember, maybe just stick to a balanced diet.